So Disney is in the center of yet another controversy when it comes to certain bills, when it comes to certain ideologies and philosophies about life, and it's just simply a big group of people, a very large portion of the population against a very small portion of the population. The problem is that very small portion of the population is extremely loud, and they frighten Disney to the extent where they make very, very stupid choices. They make very, very stupid decisions, and they embarrass themselves. Not only Disney as a corporation, not only the higher ups at Disney embarrassing themselves, but also the lower people, the people who are working at Disney World, the employees of the higher ups are also embarrassing themselves, and we'll go over that in 1 minute. But this very small portion of the population is forcing Disney and all these other corporations, all these other media outlets, whether they're creating content or, even stuff like Coca-Cola and Gillette, as pictured right here, Nickelodeon, Coca-Cola, Gillette, Disney Plus. All of these other corporations are also being forced into a corner, but Disney and all these other people, all these other corporations who actually make content, that's where it's most obvious, because that's where we're actually consuming ideologies. We're actually consuming philosophies that these corporations are putting out there. Whenever Coca-Cola is giving us drinks or Gillette is giving us razors, we're not consuming any sort of ideology or philosophy. We're just buying a product that we're going to use. Well, whenever it's Disney or whenever it's Sony or anyone else who creates content, Warner Bros, whatever it is, we're actually consuming those ideologies and those philosophies, and they're being forced down our throats because of this very small portion of the population. Like I said, once again, Disney is in the center of yet another controversy. Disney's latest debacle over Florida's anti-grooming bill is just the latest piece of evidence exposing corporate America's sickening hypocrisy. It very much is. It all started when Disney refused to take a political side regarding Florida's less than controversial bill, which barred discussions about sexual orientation and gender identity with kindergarten to grade 3 students. In a rational and sane world, no one would argue this. In fact, they'd all be for it. And to be honest, I thought the left would definitely be for this, because it's always, the left is mostly about like reforming education and stuff like that, making the kids feel more safe in their education. I would think that the left would be all for this, and I think definitely 7 to 10 years ago they would be all for this. But apparently that's not woke enough, to have kids be safe, feel safe, and be able to be themselves, decide for themselves who they want to be in life, and not be groomed in school. That's not woke enough, I guess, apparently. The left immediately mobilized, creating a de facto marketing campaign which involved titling the bill, "Don't Say Gay," which is wholly dishonest and misleading. That's neither what the bill says nor what it stands for. It merely blocks teachers from discussing sexual topics and children barely out of the cradle. Exactly. If you actually, speak of this bill, title this bill in your everyday language as the "Don't Say Gay" bill, that means that you either have, one, not read the bill, not read anything associated with the bill, not even read what the bill is actually doing or is about, or you have read the bill and you just decide to say it's the "Don't Say Gay" bill to further your narrative. Those are the two options. Or you're just an idiot, which I guess kind of plays into option number 1, where you just don't even read the bill. You just kind of accept what CNN tells you. You accept what all the other woke weirdos on Twitter tell you to say. And, you just move on and live your life like that, which is a very miserable and very poor way to live your life, in my opinion. But a lot of people do live their lives that way. Naturally, the left used the cliche and hyperbolic "your silence is deafening" routine to try and shame Disney CEO Bob Chapek into calling out the bill directly, and naturally, he caved, just like the cowards running America's corporations are so prone to do. However, that didn't spare Disney from mob justice, quite the contrary, in fact. Disney was accused of not calling out the bill fast enough and not doing enough to promote alphabet organization messaging and media. As a result, Disney tried to stave off criticism from the blue checks on Twitter while allegedly reinserting a homosexual scene into the upcoming Buzz Lightyear animated movie. We live in a clown world, man, and I have absolutely no patience for it anymore. I don't consume content that even has the smallest amount of wokeness. If it has the smallest hint of wokeness in it, like the Buzz Lightyear movie, I'm not going to watch it. I have no tolerance, zero tolerance for this stuff anymore, and it's not like I'm pissed off about it. I've accepted it. That's just the world that we live in now. And like this article said from Bounding Into Comics, by the way, shout out to Bounding Into Comics, it said that they're not safe from mob justice. They're definitely not, and they're forced into making, the Buzz Lightyear, trying to put the homosexual scenes into the Buzz Lightyear movie, which of course will be removed in China. There's no doubt about it. Those scenes will be removed in China because they don't actually care about any of the stuff that they claim to stand for. They don't care about any of the messages. They don't care about any of the people who they're claiming that they're standing for. They don't care about any of that stuff. They just want to virtue signal. And in China, they virtue signal in a different way. They virtue signal by not having that stuff in there. It's the same thing. It's just different political ideologies when you go country to country. Then we had this. Disney walkout planned. I believe this was for Disney World employees. They were walking out in protest of their support of the Florida bill, the quote unquote "Don't Say Gay" bill that these people who have no idea what the bill is actually about are saying. What a day so far. Thank you all so much for the resounding support. It means the world to us. Lots still coming in. Yeah, I'm sure lots are still coming in. I'm sure. That's why you took the picture with only like 30 people, right? These are all the people who were involved in the walkout. It's like 25, 30 people, if that. That's not very good. Not a very good turnout. But of course, you're going to say lots still coming in. But a special shout out right now to Pixar for its amazing pick of solidarity. So I guess this is the Pixar headquarters. Very strange. And of course, only people Disney Walkout mentioned can reply. It's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke. Then they have this person, who I saw a lot of people quote tweeting and commenting under. A lot of Disney creators are staying silent today because they don't want to be booted from Disney's media list, don't want to upset some followers, or simply don't think it's their place to say anything. But it's mostly the first one. If your creator hasn't commented on it, maybe slide in their DMs and ask why, politely. Ask why what? Ask why you're following the law? Ask why, like, do you really expect these creators to call out Disney for following the law in Florida? Also, thank God Disney World was built in Florida, because I think that's going to keep it from being unbearably bad in the future. I think Disneyland will become unbearably woke, where I won't even want to visit there no matter what. You probably, let's just say 5, 7, 10 years down the line, I don't think you could pay me to go to Disneyland. I think it's going to be filled with people like this, she, hers, a lot of she, hers, a lot of he, hims, and all the other ones that you can make up. I think it's going to be filled with a lot of that, and I'm just not going to want to go there. You're not going to be able to pay me to go there, but Florida, thankfully, is not going to budge. They're not going to give in to Disney, even though a lot of these other states, a lot of these other, governing bodies would give in to big corporations like Disney. Florida's not going to budge. As long as Ron DeSantis is there and he doesn't go anywhere else, they're not going to budge. So thank God Disney World was built in Florida originally and not anywhere else that will budge, like California, because it's going to eventually be unbearable in California, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you disagree on that. But also we had this. Mark Hamill being Mark Hamill. Florida students spoke loud and clear this week against the GOP's bill to cancel free speech in LG. So now they care about free speech. Democrats now care about free speech after banning anyone on social media who disagrees with them. Cancel free speech in LG alphabet people, and they're going to say gay anyway. What? This is insane. This Occupy Democrats account has been memed so many times because it just contradicts itself, it seems like, on a monthly basis. Since when does the left care about free speech? It was celebrated that Donald Trump was canceled off social media, was banned off Twitter and everything else. It was celebrated. Why were you not caring about free speech back then? Where did this all of a sudden care for free speech come into play? And then of course Mark Hamill, being the idiot that he is, just spams the word gay a bunch of times. And I quote tweeted this. I couldn't find the quote tweet because it was maybe a week ago. But I quote tweeted this and I said, all my childhood heroes are losers, because I truly believe Mark Hamill to be a loser. And that sucks to say, because he definitely was, a childhood hero, and you can say all you want, separate the art from the artist and all that stuff, but it gets to a point where it's pretty difficult. I don't follow Mark Hamill. I don't follow any of, you can see it right here. I don't follow Mark Hamill. I try to avoid this stuff, but it pops up on my feed every once in a while, and it just reminds me of how much of a loser this guy is. So it's kind of hard to separate the art from the artist whenever they're this bad. It's pretty impossible. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation, though. What do you think about the Disney walkout, the Disney protests against the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida and all that other BS that's going on right now? Let me know what you think in the comments about the whole situation. If you did enjoy the video, though, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the link to that will be in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.